Okay. Okay, you can go now. All right. Let's get into the jokes. Four former Biden aides have agreed to testify at the investigation of a cover-up of his mental decline. Upon hearing this, Biden said, "First you tell me I have dementia, and now I have AIDS?" Nothing like a good AIDS joke to lead off the show. Republicans beat the Democrats in the congressional baseball game by a score of 13-2. And for once, the Dems didn't even shoot anybody. The game was almost canceled when Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib suggested they play shirts against skins. But the game ended up being delayed when someone mistook Nancy Pelosi's face for a catcher's mitt. The game had to be stopped in the second inning when Jerry Nadler started grazing on the outfield grass. And tensions were high when halfway through the game, Kristi Noem shot the mascot. Yet, all in all, everybody was in good spirits since all the players scored with Lauren Boebert. Oh, she would have laughed. R.I.P. She's alive. All right. L.A. Mayor Karen Bass is blaming the L.A. riots on, quote, bad actors, prompting an angry call from John Cusack's agent. The daughter of Congresswoman Ilhan Omar applauded the riots, saying death to the colonial empire. Now, many people blame her outburst on radical politics, and not because she may be inbred. I'm not saying she was...
Yeah, I ain't saying she ain't.
Yeah, neither am I.
We don't know.
And finally, soap made out of actress Sydney Sweeney's bathwater is being resold online for as much as $1,600. Meanwhile, Joy Behar's bathwater is replacing tear gas to disperse angry rioters. I know. That was a good one. All right. So award season may be over, but it's never too late to give out one more. Yep, it's time for...
The douche with the most punchable face. It's no surprise he's dead behind the eyes. A man bun on this total disgrace. That eating grin, reptilian skin. Endless reasons why we hate this guy.
Yep. Tonight the award goes to this piece of trash.
But I have a kid. If I don't, and these people are having their children taken and their parents. What about my kids? That's what happens to my kids. I can't help it. But you can if you could just move out the way. You're not going to. How is this a peaceful protest if there's nothing peaceful? No, it's not.
How do y'all as white people feel about stopping a black woman from going to work?
Oh no, not work. I care so much.
So you don't care about stopping black people from going to work?
Look at this line that you guys are causing. I'm not causing no problems. I'm not trying to. We're just trying to leave.
Yeah, it's a white dude with a man bun laughing at a black woman who works for a living to feed her kids. Did the DNC create this guy in a lab? I mean, for a bigger pair of douches, you'd have to visit the feminine care aisle at Costco. See, this is why the media won't interview the protesters and instead prefer to deliver the message themselves. Because when you actually hear their words, you realize you don't want a mediator, you want a terminator. Not a dictator, just someone who can sign his own name and doesn't need his ass wiped after each press conference. It's true. There's this new study out showing that when people feel that society is collapsing, they want a strong leader. Because experiencing a social breakdown causes you to feel powerless. It's like when you're in Larry Kudlow's basement and the techno music drowns out your safe word. But that powerlessness creates uncertainty, and in that uncertainty, what do people crave? No, not my abs workout video. Although it is still available at the News Corp gift shop, right next to Sweating with Brit Hume. No, people crave decisive action. They don't want Grandpa Simpson telling them about the time cannibals almost ate Al Jolson. They want someone who talks like a bouncer and negotiates like a mafia don. In other words, Donald Trump. So, so while you think it was MAGA who elected Trump, it was the Dems. After all, they created a world where people can see their society falling apart, where their leaders look clueless, their laws go unenforced, and the criminals get more sympathy than the victims. And when the country feels like a burning clown car, you don't vote for another clown. You vote for the guy who drives a big, scary garbage truck. Can you blame him? You got protesters blocking bridges, snarling traffic, and mocking moms begging to get to work. These aren't activists, they're hostage takers. They're extortionists, like the mafia, but without the chicken parmesan. So right now, the Dems are handing the GOP an amazing re-election video. You don't need Kid Rock or fireworks or Nancy Mace in a bikini. No, not when you have senior head on top of a burning Waymo. Trump didn't just appear in a vacuum, he appeared in a moral and civic one, left by a party more interested in pronouns than public safety. He didn't force his way into office. He was summoned like a bouncer to a bar fight. If the streets had been calm, if the schools worked and cities were safe, and Dems didn't treat every criminal as a misunderstood poet, we might have gotten another useless Democrat. But these times didn't call for cardigan sweaters, called for brass knuckles. That's the irony. The Dems feared Trump. They did everything they could to elect him. So now the left operates in the world of what if. What would have happened if Trump hadn't sent in the troops? Well, we do have proof. The George Floyd riots prove that lawlessness unchecked leads to worse lawlessness. The Dems operate on a luxury of saying what would happen because we stop them from making it worse. So we'll never know. But that's the point of a strong leader, stopping chaos before it spreads. Trump is the certainty in uncertain times. After Democrat rule, you don't want a TED Talk, you want someone with brass balls. So now, what is the media doing? Well, Newsweek published a map and listed all the anti-Trump rallies to be held across this country Saturday. And boy, is it organized from the top on down. And what's the goal? Well, without principles, you go for the photo op. They're praying for that one George Floyd moment. They incite and hope you'll bite. Maybe it'll work. But know this, we will no longer be held hostage by a party that denies our safety and then organizes mobs when we say we've had enough. They say hindsight is 20/20. Well, it's 2020 that gave us 2024. Let's hear it! Tonight's guest! Comedy critics rate his act 2 thumbs in their ears. Writer and comedian Joe DeVito. She's our favorite McDonald, not counting that old pervert who had a farm. Host of Evening Edit on Fox Business, Liz McDonald. She's more popular with old men than naps. Outnumbered co-host Emily Campagno. And old ladies pass him around like a tube of Polygrip. New York Times bestselling author, comedian, and former NWA World Champion Joe, welcome to the show. That rhymes, in case you didn't notice. Isn't it weird how the Dems actually elected Trump by their reaction to Trump?
Yeah, well, if you look at that guy that they had there, he was more bun than man.
Yes. Wait a minute. Why have we not found out who he is?
I don't know. I don't think he's busy at work.
Yeah.
You know? There's a reason why people never say, let's ask this man bun's opinion on something. You ask a man bun a question like, why does your yoga mat smell like that? Horrible people. Yeah, you can't, I mean, look at the nerve of him to be saying, chill out, black woman. I'm going to show you how to fight white supremacy and the patriarchy. Just the nerve of, oh, he's unbearable to look at.
Yeah, and by the way, this is hostage taking. When you are keeping people from getting where they're going, that is actually taking hostages. I don't know why they're not arrested and charged.
It should, and you can tell he doesn't care about her. He's just like, the people on Martha's Vineyard who said, they have the signs out front that says, hate has no home here, and it turns out migrants have no home there either because they chased them out faster than ICE would have.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think it shows how these people like him, they don't care about the people they're talking about. They don't. And I think a funny example is, now we're here in California, supposedly Mexican territory.
Yeah.
All this time, what about all these land acknowledgments that it was supposed to be Native American territory where people would go up and they would say, oh, well, this is the former territory of the proud.
Yes.
And now it's like everywhere you go. So, yeah, they don't care. Maxine Waters doesn't care. She doesn't care. She's not going to get hit in the head with a bottle at a riot. Her wig would throw it back.
Yes.
So I think what you learn from this is that normal people, they don't like riots. They don't like any of this stuff, and they see it. And this idea, America's a nation of immigrants, no, it's a nation of citizens. And the citizens are looking and saying, who's looking out for us? And it's not the Democrats, it's Donald Trump.
Liz? What do you make of that man bun guy, huh?
Yeah, I mean, is he the new progressive face of white supremacy?
Yes.
Right? I mean, and the Democrat Party is spending $20 million to understand why male voters are running away from the Democrat Party. It's because of guys like that. And when you watch him, he was totally not looking at her. He was looking at the camera.
Yeah.
He too is looking for his own viral moment. And you're right. How do you track the guy? Nobody knows where he works. Nobody knows what he does. And your point is well taken. When are they going to sit down and talk to the people doing this?
Yes.
Doing this to America? Because it's so unfair to that minority woman who's trying to feed her family, going to work, and he's not working, blocking her. Americans, they see through this. They see right through it, and they don't like the riots. They like law and order. They like safety. This guy is making everybody feel less safe.
Yeah, I hope he does get a viral moment, but it's viral hepatitis. You know who he looks like, Emily, when they put him up there? He reminds me of the killer in Silence of the Lambs. When they come to the door.
Yes.
Buffalo Bill?
Wait a minute.
He looks like
Is he a
Buffalo
great big
Bill.
fat person? Yeah.
Yes, your favorite guy.
Yeah.
You love Buffalo
I
Bill, don't
love
you?
him.
That's your hall pass.
He kids, everyone. Yeah, look, thing one and thing two right up there on the board. It's Gollum 1, Gollum 2. They're frightening. Here's the thing about the Dems, the libs. They are always speaking for you, and they are always trying to replace the group that they are always knowing better to speak for. So ironically, this week, right, there's a big article out. Here are the groups that Trump wants to erase.
Right.
And they list every single minority. But funny how the white man, Gavin Newsom, always knows how to speak better than every person of color in his state and every community than his state, right? Maxine Waters knows how to speak better than the communities that are actually being destroyed in these riots. And that's the thing, too. Like, I don't need these protesters to be interviewed because I went to high school. I know what it is like to talk to someone on acid. It's more like I want to hear from the people whose communities are being displaced, whose child was raped by a recidivist rapist who's just in a sanctuary city, so they're okay, even though they're a legal immigrant. Like, talk to those people. Interview that woman who got constructively kidnapped. Here's the thing. This is what I was thinking about, though. The reason that I don't think they're going to charge them with that is because she could technically walk away, right? But you're right that if you are prevented from exiting a room, that is charged as kidnapping. But I think
All I want, Emily, besides you ending that sentence, is Tyrus. I want this to happen to you. I want this to happen. It's like white. You know what I mean?
Totally.
It's like I would like to see you use him as a Q-tip.
Yes.
Or if it were me, I would go to jail for murder because I would run him over. But you would find a very clever and creative way of torturing him without ever seeing time.
They never pick me, Greg. I like people standing in front of my truck. I could be cool. No, he would have had an accident. And but we all want to punch him in the face, right? Everyone's seeing that. There's old ladies going, I'm a little older, but I got one in me. But we can't.
Yeah.
Because it's no mistake that you take the dumbest, ugliest, moronic group and put him on camera because patriots see that and they see, and we don't, when they look at that, no one's like, oh, he's messing with a black woman. The average man's going, he is intimidating a woman,
right?
Period.
Right.
And the alpha males and the males in this country are like, oh no, that's not gonna happen on my watch. This is the new move, is to get our side to react, to get someone like me walk over, snatch him by his man bun, drag him around a little bit, and then put him somewhere.
Yeah.
And everyone will cheer.
They're hoping that for this weekend.
But then it will be, oh, it's a civil war. The MAGAs are attacking us. So no matter how much we want to react, and yes, she can play. The good news is this is on film. So her manager, she can show it to him. This is why I was late. So she's going to be okay. But it's important that we do not engage. All this weekend is about getting one video of a dude like me or someone with a MAGA hat or even someone of Greg's stature with maybe 2 baseball bats and a whatever. A horse, a pony, sorry. A pony charging in, you know, leave those women alone, you know, and it's all it takes. And we,
I'd be
and
on
the
your
next thing you know, all we would see would be MAGA agitators is the reason why. So it's very important, no matter how much you want to put hands on him, that we don't, and we allow police to do their job, because the police are back, they are inspired, and they have support.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.